Number 1. 1989 Mercedes-Benz 300 TE Wagon 4D. Price: $7,999. Location: Spokane Valley. There's something undeniably cool about an old Mercedes wagon that still does exactly what it was built to do nearly 4 decades later. This S124 Generation 300 TE carries the kind of presence modern SUVs still chase but rarely capture. Finished in a rare tan-over burgundy combination, this wagon feels less like a used car and more like a preserved piece of late 80s German engineering culture. The long roof, upright greenhouse, and unmistakable Mercedes proportions give it the same quiet confidence that made these wagons icons among architects, enthusiasts, and old-money families across America and Europe alike. Under the hood sits the legendary inline-six paired to an automatic transmission, and according to the seller, it still runs strong with solid compression and fully functional electronics. The analog driving experience is really the charm here. No giant screens, no artificial steering feel, just mechanical honesty, excellent visibility, and the kind of road manners Mercedes built its reputation on. The self-leveling suspension still functions properly, the air conditioning has been converted to R134A and blows cold, and even the original Becker stereo has been rebuilt with modern Bluetooth upgrades, which is exactly the kind of tasteful modernization enthusiasts appreciate. What makes this wagon especially appealing is that it hasn't been over-restored or stripped of its personality. The paint shows a presentable patina rather than trailer queen perfection, and honestly, that suits the car. It feels authentic. The body panels are reportedly straight, the underbody appears rust-free, and the wagon still includes its third-row seating, making it equal parts collector piece and usable classic. Whether it's parked at a Cars and Coffee event or loaded up for a weekend camping trip, this Mercedes still understands its mission. At under $8,000, this is the kind of analog European classic that's becoming increasingly difficult to find untouched.
1989 Mercedes 300 TE wagon. All the vacuum locks work. Beautiful burgundy interior. Lots of service records, good history on this car. 214,000 original miles. Starts right up. Everything functions. Radio rebuilt by Becker Auto Sound with Bluetooth now on any of the AM buttons. Beautiful car. Very rare color combination.
Number 2. 1977 Chevrolet Corvette. Price: $16,900. Location: St. Helens. Some classics scream for attention, but a late 70s Corvette earns it simply by pulling into the parking lot. This 1977 C3 Corvette captures everything enthusiasts love about the era. Long hood, Coke bottle curves, removable T-tops, and unmistakable American V8 attitude. Finished in factory medium red over an unusually rare white leather interior, this example stands apart from the average C3 because it still feels cared for rather than merely preserved. The contrast between the bright exterior and the clean two-tone cabin gives the car a genuine showroom vibe that most surviving Corvettes lost years ago. Power comes from Chevrolet's dependable 350ci L48 V8 backed by an automatic transmission, and while these late C3 cars were never about brute horsepower, they excel at something equally important: effortless cruising. This is the kind of Corvette built for sunset highway drives, classic rock through the cassette deck, and pulling up to local car meets where people instantly start asking questions. The seller notes the car runs and drives great, and with only around 68,000 original miles, it appears to have lived a relatively gentle life, including a lengthy period in storage before returning to the road. Details like the Rallye wheels wrapped in BF Goodrich radial T/as, pop-up headlights, luggage rack, factory alarm, and power accessories all contribute to the authentic period feel. More importantly, the car reportedly earns compliments everywhere it goes and has already proven itself on the show circuit with award wins and strong enthusiast attention online, including exposure on Bring a Trailer. That kind of recognition matters because it shows this Corvette resonates beyond casual buyers. It's not trying to be a perfect investment-grade museum piece. Instead, it feels like the sweet spot, a genuinely attractive C3 you can drive, enjoy, and proudly show without fear of ruining an over-restored collector car. Number 3. 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Coupe 2D. Price: $29,999. Location: Graham. A black first-generation Camaro never really needs an introduction. It just needs an open road and enough throttle. This 1967 Camaro has the exact kind of street presence muscle car enthusiasts still chase today. Black paint over a black interior gives the car an aggressive, timeless look that instantly recalls the golden era of American performance. Even sitting still, these early Camaros carry attitude in a way few classics can replicate. The proportions are perfect: short deck, long hood, and that unmistakable low-slung coupe silhouette that defined late 60s Detroit. The seller keeps the description short and direct, which honestly fits the personality of the car. Sometimes the less said, the more confident the vehicle feels. What's visible here is a clean-looking example with a stance and presence that suggest it was built to be driven rather than hidden away. With under 50,000 miles shown and an automatic transmission, this Camaro likely offers the kind of approachable muscle car experience many buyers actually want. Easy cruising with enough V8 character to make every drive memorable. First-year Camaros continue to hold serious weight in the collector market because they represent the beginning of Chevrolet's answer to the Mustang, and the demand for clean examples has remained remarkably consistent. Black-on-black cars especially tend to attract attention because they amplify the Camaro's naturally aggressive styling without needing flashy colors or graphics. Whether this becomes a weekend cruiser, local show car, or long-term investment, the appeal is obvious. A 67 Camaro still carries the same energy it did nearly 60 years ago, and that's exactly why people keep chasing them. Number 4. 1977 Chevrolet Camaro Coupe 2D. Price: $12,000. Location: Port Orchard. This is the kind of Camaro that reminds you why rough-around-the-edges muscle cars often have the best stories. Powered by a cammed 350 V8 backed by a Muncie 4-speed manual, this 77 Camaro leans heavily into the analog American driving experience. It's loud, mechanical, unapologetically old school, and according to the seller, reliable enough to be driven almost every other day. That matters more than perfect paint or spotless trim because classics that actually get road time tend to have a different kind of soul. Finished in red over red, the car delivers exactly the vibe a late 70s F-body should. There's a rawness to these second-generation Camaros that enthusiasts have started appreciating more in recent years, especially as clean early muscle cars continue climbing out of reach financially. The long nose, wide stance, and driver-focused cockpit still feel distinctly American, especially paired with a proper 4-speed transmission. Importantly, the seller is upfront about the flaws. The heater core currently needs replacement, although a new unit is included, and the car isn't presented as perfect. Honestly, that transparency adds credibility. Nearly 50 years in, no Survivor Camaro is flawless unless someone spent 6 figures restoring it. What matters is that the fundamentals appear solid: strong running small block, working components, and real usability. At 12 grand, this feels less like a polished collector car and more like an attainable enthusiast machine, something you can wrench on Saturday morning and drive Saturday night. And for many buyers, that's exactly the point. Number 5. 1974 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Price: $7,500. Location: Nampa. Few cars represent American luxury excess better than a mid-70s Cadillac DeVille. This 1974 sedan DeVille is pure rolling Americana. Massive proportions, deep red paint, matching interior, acres of chrome, and enough presence to make modern luxury sedans feel sterile. Under the hood sits Cadillac's legendary 472 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission, delivering the kind of effortless torque and highway comfort that defined the era. These cars weren't built to rush anywhere. They were built to float. What makes this example especially interesting is its apparent originality. The seller states it remained with one owner for decades and still shows just over 61,000 original miles. Cars like this often tell their story through details, and this one still carries period touches enthusiasts love, including the classic cigarette lighter for everyone luxury philosophy that perfectly captures 1970s Cadillac thinking. Condition-wise, it sounds remarkably honest. The car is described as completely unmolested with everything functioning properly aside from the air conditioning needing a recharge for its original R12 system. That level of preservation matters because many surviving DeVilles were either neglected or heavily modified over the years. Here, the appeal is authenticity. Driving a car like this today is less about performance numbers and more about the experience. The oversized hood, soft ride, whisper-quiet cabin, and unmistakable V8 rumble create a type of comfort modern vehicles simply don't replicate anymore. It's a time capsule from an era when Cadillac measured success in length, chrome, and smoothness rather than lap times. For the money, this is an accessible entry into full-size American luxury history with genuine personality still intact. Number 6. 1967 Chevrolet El Camino. Price: $13,000. Location: Poulsbo. There's something uniquely American about an El Camino, a machine that refuses to choose between muscle car and pickup truck. This 67 front-end El Camino embraces that identity with exactly the kind of blue-collar hot rod attitude enthusiasts love. Under the hood sits a cammed 400 small-block Chevy paired with an automatic transmission, giving the car the kind of rumbling V8 personality that instantly transforms an ordinary drive into an event. You can already imagine the sound coming through the dual Flowmaster exhaust system as the truck-car hybrid rolls through town with that unmistakable small-block soundtrack. What makes this build interesting is that it isn't pretending to be a concours restoration. It feels honest, usable, and built by someone who wanted a fun cruiser rather than a fragile collector piece. Mechanically, there's already a solid list of updates including new brakes, alternator, carburetor, fuel system components, ignition parts, wheels, tires, and disc brakes all around. Those upgrades matter because they make classics like this far easier to actually enjoy on modern roads. Visually, the car carries the right amount of patina and imperfection. The seller openly mentions surface rust, aging paint, and non-functioning dash gauges, but that roughness almost adds to the appeal. An El Camino with too perfect paint sometimes loses its character. This one still feels like a street machine with stories left in it. The beauty of these late 60s El Caminos is how versatile they are in today's market. They attract muscle car fans, truck enthusiasts, hot rod builders, and younger buyers looking for something genuinely different from the endless sea of restored Chevelles and Camaros. With a clean title and a strong-running V8 setup, this Chevy feels like the kind of project you can improve slowly while enjoying immediately. Number 7. 1948 Chevrolet Fleetmaster. Price: $12,500. Location: Billings. A post-war Chevy hot rod always carries a certain kind of romance, the kind rooted in old diners, neon signs, and two-lane highways stretching into nowhere. This 1948 Fleetmaster has been transformed into exactly the type of classic cruiser that makes people smile at stoplights. Finished in red with matching interior tones, the car blends vintage styling with more modern drivability thanks to its Chevrolet 350 V8 and TH350 automatic transmission. That combination has become legendary in the hot rod world for a reason. Reliable power, easy maintenance, and effortless cruising manners. What really stands out here is the balance between classic aesthetics and comfort upgrades. The shaved door and trunk handles give the car a cleaner custom look without going overboard, while the addition of heat and air conditioning makes it genuinely usable during long summer drives. Too many old customs sacrifice drivability for style, but this Fleetmaster appears to understand both worlds. According to the seller, it drives like a dream, and honestly, that's exactly what a car like this should do. The proportions of late 40s Chevrolets still look fantastic today. Rounded fenders, generous chrome, and that smooth fastback-inspired body design give the car a timeless silhouette that stands apart from later muscle-era machines. It's less aggressive than a Camaro or Challenger, but arguably more charming. For buyers wanting an approachable hot rod without diving into a full unfinished project, this Chevy occupies a very appealing middle ground. It already has the stance, drivetrain, and cruiser personality most enthusiasts are after, while still leaving room for personal touches down the road.
As you can see, tires are super close to them.
Number 8. 1973 Cadillac Coupe DeVille. Price: $16,500. Location: West Richland. Before luxury became digital, Cadillac built cars that felt like rolling living rooms wrapped in steel and chrome. This 1973 Coupe DeVille is a perfect reminder of that era. Finished in green over green and reportedly stored indoors in climate-controlled conditions since the mid-1990s, this coupe appears to have survived the last 50 years with remarkable dignity. These massive two-door Cadillacs once ruled American highways, and seeing one preserved in largely original condition today feels increasingly rare. The styling alone makes a statement. Long body lines, hidden headlight design cues, oversized proportions, and formal rooflines gave these Cadillacs an unmistakable road presence. They weren't subtle cars, and that was exactly the point. Everything about them was designed to communicate comfort, status, and effortless cruising power. According to the seller, the car remains in excellent original condition with relatively low mileage around 54,000 miles. New tires and batteries suggest recent attention, but thankfully it sounds like nobody has over-restored or modernized the car beyond recognition. That originality matters because collectors have started appreciating preserved survivors far more than heavily modified examples. Driving a big Coupe DeVille today is an entirely different experience from driving a modern luxury coupe. The steering is soft, the ride feels almost disconnected from the pavement, and the entire car moves with an elegance that modern performance-focused vehicles abandoned years ago. It's not about speed, it's about atmosphere. For enthusiasts drawn to authentic 1970s Americana, this Cadillac delivers exactly the kind of unapologetic luxury experience that made the brand iconic in the first place. Number 9. 1972 Buick Opel GT. Price: $5,500. Location: Richland. The Opel GT has always been one of the coolest hidden gems of the classic car world. A miniature European sports car with just enough American weirdness to make it unforgettable. Nicknamed by many as the baby Corvette, the Opel GT delivers styling far bigger than its actual size. The low nose, curved fastback roofline, and signature flip-style headlights give this little coupe a genuine 1970s sports car personality, and according to the seller, it's still road trip capable with recent long-distance drives already completed successfully. That alone says a lot about its usability. This example has clearly seen meaningful mechanical attention recently. New tires, fuel system components, restored radiator, rebuilt carburetor, shocks, seals, lighting, and various wiring updates suggest someone invested in making the car dependable rather than simply cosmetic. For a niche European classic at this price point, that matters enormously because part sourcing and deferred maintenance can otherwise become overwhelming quickly. The seller is refreshingly transparent about the flaws too. The speedometer doesn't work, the wiring under the dash is messy, the alternator is weak, and the seats show wear. But honestly, none of those issues overshadow the charm of the car itself. At barely over $5,000, this Opel feels like one of those affordable analog classics that younger enthusiasts are starting to rediscover precisely because it's quirky, lightweight, and different from typical American muscle. And perhaps that's the real appeal here. The Opel GT doesn't try to overpower the road, it simply makes driving feel playful again. Number 10. 1973 Dodge Challenger Rallye. Price: $25,000. Location: Kalispell. A black Mopar e-body will always command attention, even before the engine starts. This 1973 Challenger Rallye carries the exact kind of aggressive street machine energy that continues fueling the Mopar market decades later. Finished in black over black and powered by a rebuilt 318 fitted with 360 heads bored .030 over, this Challenger feels like a car built to be driven and enjoyed rather than hidden under fluorescent lights at an auction house. The seller recently invested heavily into mechanical sorting, reportedly spending around $7,000 in 2025 alone. That work included a new Edelbrock carburetor, fresh fluids, heater core replacement, suspension work, steering components, brake updates, ignition upgrades, and extensive front-end rebuilding. Those investments matter because e-body Mopars have become expensive cars to restore properly, and finding one that has already received meaningful mechanical attention can save the next owner a serious amount of time and money. What's especially appealing here is the honesty of the listing. The seller openly acknowledges the remaining needs: seat upholstery, tires, a fuel gauge issue, and an intermittent high-beam electrical problem. Instead of pretending the car is perfect, the description reads like someone who genuinely knows the vehicle. That transparency tends to resonate strongly with experienced classic buyers. On the road, a Challenger like this is all about presence. The long hood, wide stance, and unmistakable Mopar bodylines still look intimidating today, especially paired with dual straight-pipe exhaust. Even parked, these cars have attitude. And with the original sales invoice reportedly included, there's an added layer of authenticity collectors appreciate. This isn't a fully restored showpiece, and honestly, that may be exactly why it's interesting. It's a usable, honest e-body with strong bones, real character, and the kind of analog muscle car experience that continues getting harder to buy at realistic money.